Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core 4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Get the juice. Hello, peoples.
Hello.
Happy Wednesday to you all. Hopefully you guys are not freezing your butts off like we are. It is a balmy 2 degrees in Michigan today, and that has been the high so far. So hopefully you guys are warm and toasty. Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast. Like always, guys, before we get into today's topic, if you could do us one favor, share the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. There's a little button on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Audible, all the platforms to subscribe. It'll help us boost up the charts, and that way you'll get notified in real time whenever we drop a new episode for you, so you don't have to search back weeks and weeks and lose place and lose all the fun stuff that we're going to be talking about. Now, speaking of that, today, guys, talking about probably one of the biggest reasons why people either fail to get in shape or fail to stick to diets. Basically, today's topic is why diets fail, or why people can't stick to diets over a long period of time. And what happens, guys, generally when we start, let's say, dieting or restricting your calories, in a nutshell, some of you guys might be able to relate to this, is you go, okay, it's Monday, I'm up a little bit on the scale, the diet starts on Monday, and I'm going to restrict my calories. And everything does great for, let's say, a week or 2 weeks, or maybe even a month. And you start to kind of slow down, right? You lose a couple pounds in the first week, maybe a pound or two in the second week. Maybe it's a half a pound the next week. And then you kind of get stuck. And people then go, well, okay, I'm going to restrict my calories more. And you lose another pound and a half. And the same thing happens. You restrict it more, you get stuck again. You restrict it more, you get stuck again. Until all of a sudden, you kind of paint yourself into a corner and you're like, holy crap, I'm eating 700 calories a day. I can't lose a freaking ounce. Every time that I do, go out and I have a burger and fries, or I do have a slice of pizza, I gain 3 or 4 pounds instantly. What the heck do I have to do to lose weight? And the reason behind this, guys, is our body is always kind of looking for homeostasis, or like a happy point to be at. And your diet, kind of same thing like with your workouts. What was effective, let's say 3 months ago, your body learns over time to find a comfort zone, and that progress begins to slow down. Think of it like your first time in the gym. If you haven't exercised in a while, or you haven't gone on a diet in a while, and we're doing lunges and push-ups and burpees and squats, and you're a little bit sore, let's say after those first couple workouts. All of a sudden you're 2-3 months in, and you're like, okay, my soreness goes away really quick now. My body's getting used to this. It's learning, it's adapting. Well, in terms of diet, your body does the same thing. It adapts and it learns to kind of live in the environment that it's set in. So if you're constantly somebody that is always restricting your calories, and you're stuck at a point where you're like, I can't eat any less, or I'm going to be starving myself, it's important, guys. We talked about this in the past podcast, but to give yourself kind of a diet break, for lack of a better word. We're still focused on whole foods, the quality of your foods, but don't be afraid to eat a little bit more, even if you gain a pound or 2 pounds in the next couple weeks or months. But it's important, guys, to give your body a break, to kind of reset your metabolism, so your body always isn't in this caloric deficit. That way you can ramp everything up. Your body's happy, it's healthy. You're eating more calories, you're eating more healthy food. Then when you want to go back into a caloric deficit again, you're pulling from this nice juicy number of, let's say, 1,500, 1,800, 2,000 calories, instead of trying to keep whittling away. Before you know it, you're at 700, 600, 500, and nothing's happening on the scale.
You said it all. I don't even know how to branch off of that one. I think
a well-oiled machine.
I think you've said this before. I see. This isn't your first rodeo.
No, many orientations.
I think the biggest takeaway from it is even the word diet, as small as that, as trivial as that, is diet just implies that it's a temporary thing. And I think that is what we all end up doing. The proverbial all. I'm not singling anyone out or anything like that. I just mean this is kind of what we're conditioned to do. We hop on the scale. We don't like what we see. We do something about it. It's join a gym. It's go to a gym. It's start a diet. When in reality, it's all about the lifestyle and our nutrition, right? I always say fuel and train instead of diet and exercise. It means the same thing, but it's a totally different thing. If you're fueling your body and training for something, training for life, it's a lot different than diet and exercise, because diet and exercise is kind of this idea that there's something wrong that you need to be fixing, right? Where fueling and training is just like, oh, this is just how I live my life. Every day I wake up and I train a little bit. Maybe I'm training legs, maybe I'm training arms, maybe I'm training cardio, and I fuel. I fuel all of the stuff that I just did. I don't want to undo all of the stuff. I don't want to make it pointless, and I want to feel good every single day. I want to feel as best as I can, because there's going to be other stuff. There's going to be emotional things that come in. I'm not going to be able to sleep some days. So at the very baseline, I'm fueled and I'm trained and I'm moving my body and I have my health and okay. But the second we start throwing diet and exercise into the mix, it tends to be that temporary. And you go, okay, I'm really honed in on my calories. I'm counting my calories. And then I'm looking at the scale and it worked this week. And then the next week it doesn't work. And the next week, and it's a challenging thing we're doing. And now we're throwing in all of this doubt on top of it, which just makes it more likely that you're going to throw in the towel at some point. So I like to steer clear from diet in general. And one of the main reasons I think diets fail is because they're diets. They're meant to, right? You're meant to do it temporarily, lose the 20 pounds, give up, go back to whatever you want to do, and then gain the 20 pounds back and then go, oh, Monday I start my diet. It's all part of that yo-yo. When if you can switch the lifestyle and the mindset to fueling and training, you should never have to diet again and never have to even really worry about that problem.
Yeah. And like you said, I think one of the reasons why people fail is knowing that your diet, I hate to use the word diet because we wanted everybody to have like a lifestyle change. But when you go, okay, I'm going to restrict my calories because I want to lose weight and I'm only going to do this for a month or 2 months or 3 months. Let's say you make it to the finish line. Your diet will say, in quotations, is over. Then what's your game plan? Then you're like, well, do I go back to eating whatever I want? Can I have pizza 3 days a week? Can I have this? Am I going to have cereal for breakfast? And there's no plan to succeed after that. You get close to your goal weight or you achieve your goal weight, and then you're like, well, now what do I do? I've been starving myself for 3 months. How the heck do I transition to make this kind of a full lifestyle thing? And that's where we tell you guys, if you are somebody that's severely restricting your calories, coming out of that, just like we talked about in the beginning of this podcast, it's important to go, okay, give my body a little bit of breathing room, still make healthy choices, whether it's a salad or chicken or X, Y, and Z. But a lot of the people, why they fail at diets is it's this all or nothing mentality. It's either I'm having salads every single day and chicken breasts and I'm doing this until I hit my goal weight. And then what happens when you hit your goal weight? You're like, I am sick of eating this stuff. I don't want to eat it ever again. Bring on the cupcakes, bring on the donuts, bring on a slice of pizza. I haven't had this stuff in so long. The scale begins to go back up. You feel guilty. You feel mad at yourself. So what do? You start another diet. You deplete your calories super low again. And you're never consistent. You're either going up or you're going down instead of just kind of staying in that sweet spot. But like we said in the beginning, guys, when you can take the idea of a diet, of this temporary thing that you're doing, and change it into this is my lifestyle change. Not to say that you can't ever go out and have pizza on a Friday night, or you want to have a drink, have that, or a burger. It is what it is.
You can do it every Friday. You can do it every Friday.
You can do it every Friday. If you go Friday night is my family night, that's where we watch a movie and get pizza. Cool. Chalk that up as one of your cheat meals for the week. If you do it again on Sunday morning, let's say you go out to breakfast. You go, okay, Friday night we do this, Sunday morning we do this. But I know the other 5 days of the week, I'm going to stick to some kind of regimen to keep myself on track rather
Right.
than going, it has to be perfection every single day, clean eating. And all that does is set you up for kind of, what's the word
I
I'm looking for? Like the spark to
feel you.
gunpowder, where it's like, oh my gosh, I want it all right now. I haven't had
Right.
this in so long.
And it also it's giving an end date. I've said before, like, think big picture of your life, right? We're always growing and aging, and hopefully we live a very, very long time. All you're gonna say one time is, remember when I was 42 and I was really, really lean? Yeah. Okay, who cares? Now I'm 50 and I'm not that person anymore because that was when I was on a crash diet. Like, what are we doing? You just
Yeah.
live your life. Do fuel your body correctly and exercise and move your body how you see fit. So, yeah, that it at the second we say we are on a diet or plan, um, it it creates a deadline and it allows us to stick with it because we know the pain and suffering. It's a bit dramatic, but of doing things and cutting carbs and keto and whatever the diet you're on gets to the point where you go, well, this is done on Christmas, December 25th. I'm done with this, so I can just make it. And every day you wake up and you go, oh, this sucks. I don't want to eat these egg whites and turkey sausage, but only have 3 more weeks. But only have 2 more weeks, and that propels you. But then you get there, and you get there. You're not going to continue on, and actually, it creates a negative view of all of that stuff. You view it as all of the negative stuff you're adding because you can't have fruity pebbles, you can't have ice cream, you can't have beer and wine, you can't negative 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 negative, rather than looking at, I feel 10 times better, I do this, I still allow myself to have this, I still do that. It's a whole mindset shift, and even the word diet, like I said, I'm just repeating myself now, even that implies it's ending at some point, which ending is never a good idea when it comes to your health. There's never a time when you don't have to prioritize it anymore. It doesn't. Maybe if you're 100, maybe when you're 100, let go of the reins a little bit, huh? Who
Throw in the
cares?
towel.
Who cares?
You did the
But
work. You made it to
until
100.
until you're there, you always need to prioritize your life and your lifestyle and your health. You always need to. We don't do it enough at all in society, at all. I don't. I do it as a job and as a career, and 80, 90% of the time, good months, bad months, whatever, it needs to be better. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm sure you would admit it too. You have horrible times and you go, okay, I need to lock it in a little bit. Yes, this
Yeah.
is what life is, but that is the grand scheme. I don't have no interest in doing a crash diet right now and only eating, one food forever, because it's going to really get me ripped for a few weeks. It's like, it's not. I'm just not into. If you're into that, you're into that. But that is what you're doing, right? That's the goal. And I think about physique competitors. They get big and beefy, and then they completely dehydrate and shrink their bodies and cut, and they eat no calories at all. And then they go up on a stage, and they all feel sick, and they all feel faint, and they look unbelievable. But the second they get off that stage, they go have milkshakes and everything, and they add it back into. And weeks later, they're obviously still big and beefy and ripped to the eye, but they look nothing like they did on that stage. That was a very, very temporary fix, right? They spent years of muscle training and fueling their body to kind of grow this shape, and then they shred it out and they put the orange tanner stuff on and they go up on the stage, but they dehydrate themselves for a week, and it's just like, okay, well, this is a temporary thing. This isn't you at your fittest. We're looking at you,
You don't
admiring.
walk around like that all year round.
No, but that's what we admire. That's what we see, and we look and we go, whoa, look at this person. They're incredible. It's like they're not even healthy at this time. This is them just, this is what all of the weeks and months and years leading up to it has led to. They're going to get off the stage, they're going to assimilate back into normal life, and then when the next competition comes up, they start this hard cut and stuff. It's a different life, right? And I don't think it takes a lot of kind of learning, and even that stuff, the dehydration and everything that goes into it, I didn't learn until 5-6 years ago when I just started researching and understanding. It's just it's a weird thing to kind of be manipulated into what is good and what is normal and what is whatever, and you have to realize, oh, a lot of this stuff is at peak times where we're seeing them. And when you see somebody who's like 75 and still playing rec league hockey and pickleball, and you go, oh no, that is what is health, because she's just out there playing pickleball, he's just out there playing hockey, they're just doing their thing and their lifestyle's still the same. Now they're not running a 4.5 40 or jumping up a 40-inch box jump. They're playing in their box. They're doing well, but it's a whole different lifestyle. And when you switch the whole mindset of, you go, okay, if I'm dieting, it's a means to a cause. It's because I have a wedding. It's because it's summer's coming up. I want to just get absolutely shredded, knock off 20 pounds for this time, but I'm looking at it as just that. So when the diet's over, I'm going to let go of the reins, and I know I'm going to add this on. I guess if that is the way you want to do it, sure, it's beautiful. That's what diets are for. But I think the heavy majority does not want to diet a couple times a year or once a year. They don't want to go, oh, got to lock it back in. And we can accomplish that with the 80-20 rule, 90-10 rule of fueling and training. Fuel and train. Fuel your body, train your body, and good things will happen. You would never have to diet again, theoretically.
Yeah. And like how you said, you've mentioned this before, where like we'll have people come in the gym and they're like, I did the keto diet, or I did the carnivore diet, or I did X, Y, and Z, and I lost 10 or 15 pounds. It worked really good, but then I gained 25 or 26 or 30 pounds back. And you're like, well, that didn't work, because now you gained it all back and you're 5 or 10 pounds heavier. So you're having to do twice the work just to get you back to where you were to begin with.
Right.
It'd be like if you're like, oh, I starved myself for a week and I lost 8 pounds.
Sure, you could do it that way.
Now that I am done starving myself, I gain back 12. Well, it's like, well, that's not an effective diet then, because you weren't able to maintain it.
Yeah. If I asked you a week ago if it was effective, you'd say yes. But if I ask you now, you'd go, no, that was a failure. And that's why diets fail, quote unquote. It's because it's kind of designed to. It's meant to be temporary. Don't use the word diet. Use the word fuel. It really is a mindset shift. And you go, yeah, I'm fueling my body to go sit at a cubicle. I don't care. This is what life is. I'm not judging what you do with your life. I'm not saying you need to be some crazy athlete, but you fuel your body accordingly. Humans are meant to eat a certain way. So you do it because you want to feel good. And you want to go whatever. Go to the movie, go bowling, go play with the grandkids, a kid, whatever. You're fueling. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, I think just that mindset where you go, instead of having basically either pass or fail, either you're on the diet or you're off the diet, or if you can go, okay, and almost like reverse engineer the way that you're going to eat. So like we said in the beginning, if you know that if you're a family on Friday night that has pizza night and it's your family time to watch a movie and hang out with the kids, obviously don't do the keto diet or the carnivore diet if that's not going to fit with your lifestyle. But you could go, okay, if I know Friday night we have pizza and Sunday morning I make pancakes with the kids, those are going to be my 2 off-the-record meals. And then Monday through basically Friday afternoon, we're either going to eat at home or we're going to cook stuff at home, or it's going to be, healthy choices for dinner. It's not the end of the world if, let's say, you have 3 meals a day, multiply that times 7, that's 21 meals. If 19 of the meals are fantastic and 2 aren't that great, you're still probably going to do freaking awesome because you ate great for 19 out of the 21 meals.
Yeah.
But where people get into trouble, it's either they're 100% dialed in for 21 meals, or it's 21 of eating out, eating crap, and maybe you make 5 healthy choices throughout the week, but the rest of the time you're just kind of piecing everything together, taking it on like a moment by moment basis.
Right.
It's interesting though.
Yeah,
Diets are probably the number one thing that people get hung up on. And if I
I
could
don't.
shake people to death and just go, a diet is only as effective as it is a year later. So if you diet for
Yeah,
3 months, you lose
I
10
completely
pounds, you
agree.
gain 12 back 3 months later. End of the year, you're right back to where you started again.
Sure, absolutely. I'm sure that there are people who used to be members of this gym 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, that look back at pictures of them when they were regularly coming in here and did a challenge or whatever and go, "Wow, do you remember that? I was in great shape." It's like anything is going to work while you do it, but while you do it. And so if you know you like pizza and wine and beer and ice cream and you're not going to never eat it again in your entire life, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Fit it in.
Yeah.
Go, okay, I like ice cream every night. I would love to have ice cream. I don't let myself, but I could I could make it work. I could adjust things throughout my day and the way I fuel myself and my weekends and whatever to be able to have ice cream every single night. Theoretically could, right? It's not worth it to me, but you kind of mix and match your lifestyle. That's the whole point. You love pizza, you like bread. People are like, "Oh, I don't have to give up bread." So you don't have to give up bread. You just need to be mindful. Have it once
The,
a day instead
the
of
amazing thing
every
with
meal.
this challenge that we're doing, especially, is everybody, when they start these challenges, the one thing they look forward to is having a cheat meal. And we tell people, okay, you get one cheat meal of your choice at the end of week 2, at the end of week 4, and at the end of week 6. And it can be anything. Don't have to count the calories. If you want to go out and have some pasta, have it. If you want a burger and fries, have it. If you want to have a couple beers and a slice of pizza, have it. But something to where it's off the record, you can live a little bit and, give your body a little bit of a break. And everybody's looking forward to it the first 2 weeks. And it's amazing that when you're eating clean and you're feeling good, how by the time you get to the cheat meal, you're like, I don't really want this thing. I feel good. My energy levels are good. I don't want to eat this just to make myself feel like crap. And what happens is, people will have the cheat meal. They feel like garbage the next day. And then they're like, I'm good for the next 2 or 3 weeks without seeing that again. I want to get back to eating healthy and eating clean.
Yeah.
But when you're constantly every day or every other day putting garbage inside your body, we've said this before, but you truly don't know what it feels like to kind of be living at your full potential and be living to where you actually feel good all the time. People just think,
Yeah.
I guess I'm supposed to be tired all the time. I guess I'm supposed to be lethargic. I guess I'm supposed to be grumpy or cranky. But
Joint inflammation, swelling in hands and feet, stuff people live their
yeah,
whole lives with that they go, "Oh, this has been swollen my whole life because of my diet." Like crazy stuff.
yeah, you're bloated, you're inflamed, your midsection's
Yep.
all poofy. But
Yep.
it's amazing that even like giving somebody the opportunity, like, hey, if you want to go out and eat whatever you want tonight, you can. And a lot of people are like, I'm good. And
Yeah.
part of the reason, even with the challenges, is they're in a slight calorie depletion, but the whole challenge is built on whole foods. Chicken is chicken, broccoli is broccoli. Basically, think of it as one word foods. Apple is an apple. And when you're filling up on that stuff, your body will begin to change, and it doesn't feel like a diet. It's not like they're restricting their calories to 500 calories a day is like the magic formula. We're just saying, eat this amount of it, and if you can do this more often than not, you're going to get awesome results.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens. I was actually just talking to a gym member. I'm not sure if she listens to the podcast. She might hear this morning at 8:30. She said, "I've done 2 weeks of the Whole30 diet," and I was like, "Oh, that's great." And now, hindsight, I should have been like, "Not a diet. That's life. That's good. That's real. That's what it is." But she called it the Whole30 diet, which everyone calls it. And I was like, "Yeah, it's amazing how after time." And I told her that I did a 40-day sugar cleanse years ago. You might remember I talked about it all the time. And how like first 10, 14 days were rough, and I would be tired and I'd have headaches and I'd want, especially going back to work. Yeah, at the 4:30 shift, I'd want something before I go back to work, and I would just tough through it, whatever. And anyway, at 14-ish days, 2 weeks in, I would see like at the grocery store, you'd go look at all like the bread and cupcakes and cakes section. Didn't even look good. Didn't even intrigue me. Didn't even want it. So it's all the same vibe, like you just said. Is after your body gets those cravings out, you're not even eating because like you're craving it, so it sounds good to eat, but it's not even real. It's an artificial craving almost. Like it gets
It's like
in there,
chemical craving.
takes over your body, takes over your brain, and says, "I want more of this." When actually, if you just got that out of there, your body would never say you wanted it, never. So it's just kind of it's an interesting thing, and so it's the hardest way is the only way out is through. Unfortunately, like yes, if it's hard to just cold turkey, I'm never eating sugar again. But theoretically, if you did, it would take like 10 days and then you wouldn't even want to eat sugar again. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. But if you 6 days a week don't have it and then you have sugar on the seventh day, you kind of reset that clock. And then 5 days, no sugar, then you have sugar again, you reset the clock. And it keeps it around, which is realistic. It's the way our food is, it's the way life is. Like I said, I love ice cream. I'm never going to be a person who doesn't eat ice cream. I'm having ice cream once a week. Guarantee it somewhere. I'm fitting it in. I'm making it happen. And so like I'm not gonna do that. So it's not worth that long time cleanse for me. And I know that. So it's okay. I just know that means Tuesday night tonight when I get home from work, I'm gonna want ice cream and I have to go, no, don't do it. And then I won't. I've been doing it long enough that I won't. But, I could just cut myself off for 3 weeks on the weekends and I bet you I wouldn't even think twice about it. Wouldn't even want it. And that goes for everybody.
Yeah, and like you said, with the sugar cravings, they say it takes 3 to 4 days for your body to kind of get the excess sugar cravings and the stuff that's tricking your brain into wanting it. So where people get into trouble is, let's say Monday you had a weak moment and you splurged and you had a bag of M&Ms. And Tuesday comes and your body's like, okay, that was good. I want the M&Ms again. It's 8 o'clock. I want to go get them. Wednesday comes, same thing. Oh my God, I want the M&Ms. And as time begins to separate, those cravings start to get more intense where you're like, I just want to go back and eat one. I just want to go back and eat one. But when you can get past days 3, 4, and you go into 5 and 6 and 7, those cravings start to leave as all that shit in your body begins to leave. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm good. I don't miss it. I don't need it. I got the crap out of my body. And it's almost like you're just poisoning yourself. You're like, why would I want to eat this when I'm not hungry for it, when I don't have a craving for it, just to make myself feel like crap for no reason?
Yep. That's exactly what's happening. It's wild. And that's a whole other podcast. It's about 10 podcasts worth of information about how it's poisonous and addictive to us. But
next week, baby, we're breaking down sugar.
All right. Sounds good.
That'll be a doozy. Now, should you need help with food or cravings, if you do have a bit of a sweet tooth, one of the things that we tell our gym members is get yourself a protein shake that tastes delicious because it feels like you're cheating even though you're not. One of my go-tos is just a quick protein shake if it's at nighttime, something to kind of fuel my muscles when I'm sleeping, and it kind of tastes like you're having dessert. So whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, we recommend a whey protein shake or a vegan protein shake just to help fuel your muscles. And instead of dipping for the chocolate or the gummies or the ice cream, it satisfies that sweet tooth without having all the extra calories and sugar, and you get 22 grams of protein in it. So if you go to core4supplements.com, we have the best tasting protein on the market. We have that. We have daily greens. And then we have something coming down the pipeline very, very soon that I shared with you.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Which will be a game changer for you. Yeah. I can't tell you what it is just yet, but it's something very, very different in our supplement line that you guys will love. So
I bet
we will unveil that to you. Huh?
I bet you even the boys will buy those.
Oh, they will. Just to keep in the house, put them in your car.
Yeah.
You guys will love them. We can't pull back the curtain yet, but when it releases, you guys will be the first to know. So again, guys, should you need anything supplement-wise, core4supplements.com. If you're a podcast listener or watcher, if you use the code word podcast when you check out, You'll save 10% off your whole order. And if you spend over $100, we ship it all to your house for free. So browse away, spend some cash. It's for your health. And other than that, peoples, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully that helped you guys out, steer you in the right direction. And we'll go probably round 2 next week and as we tackle sugar. But
Right.
that is all, people. Have a great day. Have a great week. And stay warm. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Love you.